Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 270 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing, recorded live from Western, Northeast, South Dakota. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Tommy, we got a banger this week.
Are we live on Instagram right now, Tanner? Is this Instagram live?
This is recorded live, much like the podcast episode.
It's just as live as the podcast episode.
Yeah. So here we are, episode 270. We've got a lot of cool stuff. First of all, I'm going to read a sponsor. We have a slight reordering of our sponsor reading that we're going to
remix.
We have a new implementation of how our sponsorships are going to be read. So for now, you're only going to get to hear one. The rest are teasers.
It's like a cliffhanger here.
Right, right. So today's episode is brought to you by Fusion Sport Performance Supplements. Do you know what's in your supplements?
Yes, and you know why I do?
You use Fusion Sports Performance Supplements, don't you?
Exactly.
I thought you did.
You can tell I had that look in my eye, right?
Yeah, it's like you look stronger. It's from the supplements.
That's what it is.
Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. They offer 2 pre-workout options with Super Soldier pre-workout and Mad Titan High Stim pre-workout. Both have proven ingredients at their full clinical doses to maximize performance, increase muscular endurance, improve focus, and get you that much sought-after pump. Both are favorites among strength sport athletes. Healing Factor post-workout combines BCAAs with a full serving of creatine monohydrate and other great ingredients to help maximize your efforts in the gym. Build muscle and recover fast. Fusion's whey protein isolate not only tastes great, it also has 27 grams of protein per scoop, 0 fat, and low or no carbs, depending on the flavor. It doesn't contain any soy or gluten, and it won't cause any stomach discomfort. Available in vanilla ice cream, chocolate fudge, and frosted cinnamon roll flavors. Most orders are shipped within 1 business day, and every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to fusionsp.net and use code MASS to save you a disgustingly huge 20% on your order. That's code MASS, M-A-S-S. Good company, that Fusion SP.
Mm-hmm.
That felt weird reading such a long ad for me.
You don't read them that long.
No,
and now we just start the show, I guess, Tanner.
Is that what we do now? I'm all discombobulated now.
Should we just restart this whole thing? We're 3 minutes in and it's just a wreck.
I don't know if I can do it now. So this is episode 270. I think a great place to start would be a weather update.
Okay, I was going to say the same thing, Tanner. I like what you're saying there. It's was it last week we said there was a possibility of snow in the forecast?
I think that was last week's episode. If maybe it was the one before, but very recently.
Either way, this past weekend it was like 50 degrees.
Yes.
And 50 actually might have been pushing it a little bit.
That was the high. Yeah. I think,
it was a very cold, rainy day.
It borderline froze. It was like got down to about 35 degrees. People are covering their plants, bringing their plants inside. Because it was about freezing.
I walked down the street. I thought there was all these ghosts, but it was just plants covered in sheets, Tanner.
Yes. But now, tomorrow, you know what the temperature is going to be tomorrow?
Is it 99?
Yeah, and the next day, 103. 103 degrees on Saturday.
Just that modest 60 degree, 70 degree temperature swing, right?
Insane.
It is.
Today was hot, actually.
It is
I think it was like 90 degrees today, wasn't it?
There's been so many days of I have a 1-year-old boy. It'd be great to finally let him go play outside. And forever it was too cold. He can't go play outside. It's too cold outside. And in 1 week it went from it's too cold outside to
too hot.
He can't go outside. No. It's too hot for him now.
Also, it's been like 30 mile per hour winds every day.
Well, the last couple have been fairly calm.
We finally have gotten a few days.
But besides that, it's always blowing wind hard.
Yes. But no, the trip dig we're going to get into.
Not wasting any time getting the summer thing going.
No,
they said Crispy Boy Summer is here.
Crispy Boy Summer. Mother Nature knew we had the tank tops out.
Mother Nature said, "Crispy Boys, listen, my child, my son, the Crispy Boy. I'm bringing summer to you."
Yes. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Do you? Okay, I gotta talk sauces with you for a minute here, Tanner.
We're getting saucy.
We're about to get saucy. This starts with a gift we received from fellow Massenomics cohort Jonathan Oldham
I know the guy.
when he sent us that care package. I think it was around Christmas time, wasn't it?
Yep.
And we each got a barbecue sauce
Yep.
and some other
I'm pretty
items
sure we
in
used
there.
the barbecue sauce.
And the
my
barbecue
house.
sauce that I had, I believe, I'm going off of memory here because I ate it pretty fast. I think it was Dreamland barbecue sauce.
I don't remember.
And we each had a different one. So the one, like right away, I'm like, ooh, why is this so different than barbecue sauces here? And then like, I think it's a vinegar one. You look at the label. Yeah, it's a vinegar-based barbecue sauce, which around here isn't very common.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking, I really enjoy this. I'm going to go buy some at the grocery store. So I didn't go to Walmart, but I went to one of the other big grocers in town.
Support your local grocer.
Exactly. And could not find a single vinegar-based barbecue sauce. Could not find one. I felt like I looked pretty hard. They weren't there. And I was telling this to my brother. He's like, yeah, I get what you're saying. You don't really find that flavor around here too often. And so then the other day, he came over and he brought a bottle with him. And it was ENC barbecue sauce. And what does ENC stand for? I like their naming convention here. Eastern North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
Was the flavor. So it
Nice.
was Lily's ENC barbecue sauce. It was also a vinegar-based one.
Okay.
And I had it tonight and it was quite delicious. So I didn't know if you had any input on your vinegar versus what's the normal one, like tomato-based usually?
I don't really use barbecue sauce all that often, so I almost don't have. And also, I do so little of the cooking anymore that it is like I wouldn't even most of the time.
So whatever shows up in front of
I'm
you,
just
it's-
very appreciative of everything that comes to me. And I know I've mentioned it before. It's like I don't know. I go to work. I go to the gym. I play with the kids, and I come back, and
There's
there's
food
more
there.
food in the fridge, and then there's food on the table, and that's kind of how so because of that. Although sauces are different. You know, a lot of times sauces go on at the table.
Mm-hmm.
What about for you though? For barbecue sauce, are you picturing it more as something that you're putting on at the table, or something you're cooking with?
I usually put it on at the table.
Right.
Just
So-
for the sake of making cleanup easier.
Right. I just don't use barbecue sauce all that often. I kind of like good old fashioned ketchup on things, or even nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess when I think barbecue sauce for me, it's mostly like whenever I'm grilling pork,
Yeah.
that's kind of like my barbecue sauce go-to.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever put barbecue sauce on beef of any kind. Because I don't do like brisket. I don't make
Right.
brisket. I don't make any of that.
We have ribs a lot, but whatever's done to them, my wife does that like in the
cooking
preparatory
process,
stage.
yeah.
Like I'm not like putting barbecue sauce on them at the end, but like my son uses barbecue sauce a lot of stuff. Actually, his go-to sauce is yum yum sauce. I don't know.
Oh,
if
is it? We've
you
talked
use
about that
Yum Yum
before. I
at all.
don't, but we have talked about
Have you
that.
ever bought yum yum sauce?
I've never bought it, but
Okay.
like you have it at what, sushi places? Isn't that
Yeah,
the
actually,
stuff?
I use when we make a dish that's rice and sauce. We'll make like an encased sausage. You know, not like a brat, but almost like you buy like a large sausage ring, and it will have
like a
that,
kielbasa.
grilled. Yeah, something like that, and we'll have that sliced and in rice with like peppers.
So kind
And,
of like a jambalaya.
yeah, that
sorts,
sort of thing. That yum yum sauce on that sort of thing is
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah.
delicioso.
Yeah, I could see that.
But no, I don't have a good. I have nothing to add to it. Is what
Okay.
I've
Well,
taken like 5 minutes to say.
I'll have to talk to Jonathan and have him send me some more of that
Yeah.
barbecue sauce that got
Yeah.
me going with this whole thing.
Okay. No, I still, and as far as hot sauces, I'm a Chalua.
Yeah, that's
guy.
dude. Okay, the thing is, the Chalua is a price premium. Like it's not cheap compared to Tapatio.
Right.
Like you can get the same, I think a bigger bottle of the Tapatio for like $1. It's
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
And the Chalua is like $4 or something a bottle. And it's not 4 times better. I can tell you that. It might be a little better.
I really like it better.
Do you
I
really?
like it better.
Oh, I don't know. I've kind of been on
But it might just be because I've
used to
been
it?
like, well, and I've just been like, I can't say that I've been hit it with a lot of Chalua marketing, but I've just like, I don't know. I just
part
like
of the Chalua gang.
right. Like I just been like, they've suckered me, they've like,
Yeah.
they got me, that could be it.
I've been lately, the last like year, I've been hard on the Tapatio.
Okay.
But then every once in a while, just to break up the monotony, I'll go to Chalua, and then I go right back to Tapatio.
But I have told you before my life hack on Chalua sauce.
You go to your local Qdoba,
They just have them
and
there.
there's a buy one burrito, get a free bottle.
I tend to. I mean, I don't tend to. It's what I do is if I go to Qdoba, I grab my burrito to go. You got to grab some napkins, maybe a fork,
some
and
sauce to go.
a bottle. Like I'm like, I don't know.
It's weird that they
like-
put the to-go packets in a glass bottle.
It's like, well, you get the sauce for free when you're there. Like I just get one and I use it over like the next 20 burritos that I bring
Yeah,
home.
so technically you're using the same
I'm
amount.
yeah, I am.
Yeah.
It's not it's not dishonest, I don't think.
I mean, in theory, it's not.
It's maybe not the system as they had pictured it, but
They're just paying for it up front rather than over time, I guess.
they're certainly getting my burrito business though.
Yeah.
Like I think I don't think they're losing out. Although it's probably not their preferred method. But.
Yeah, probably not.
Life hack hashtag.
Tanner, there is a certain strongman competitor we need to mention, and that is Travis Ortmeyer.
Yeah.
One, that he's competing in the World's Strongest Man.
Yep.
And in his, at least in the announcement pic we saw,
He was wearing the 8-bit strongman
He had
tee.
the 8-bit strongman tee on that we have, that I'm wearing actually on camera right now.
Yeah.
And he looks way more jacked in it than I do.
Way more jacked than any of us do. He looks more jacked than most people do.
He does. So that was exciting to see.
That's cool.
That'd be cool if like on the actual show at some point he would have it on, but I feel like they're pretty much on top of the t-shirt
Yeah,
game
they're gonna be wearing
for who's
their-
wearing
yeah,
what there. So
right.
that probably won't happen. But he did have, and I have to give him major props for this, one of the funniest videos I saw related to like strongman strength training.
Yeah.
And it was him holding up, I think, was it a TikTok originally or maybe a reel, or maybe he just made it for Instagram. I don't know.
It might have just been Instagram, but it was TikTok-ish, you know.
Yeah, and he's holding up signs, and I think it said, does the sign say like, all people say strong men are so stupid? And like, he's gonna, so he has a bunch of pieces of paper, and each piece of paper he's gonna flip through them, and each one's gonna say a message. And so the first one says, a lot of people think strong men are so stupid, and he pulls down the back piece of paper, and he's like making a face. And it's like, well, I couldn't see. You pulled on the wrong piece of paper. And then he pulls down the back piece of paper again. And it's like, I get what's going on here. He's really playing into the stereotype.
It was very funny.
You should go look for that.
It was laugh out loud.
Yeah,
worthy.
I was really impressed. It was a really funny post. So you should go seek that one out on his Instagram if you haven't seen it, because it's good.
Also check out the episode where he was a guest on the Massenomics
And
podcast.
yes, you should do that too.
20 some odd episodes
Oh, I
back,
think it's
maybe
maybe
30.
even longer than that. Yeah.
okay. At some point in time, he was a guest.
Sometime
It
for
was a good
sure
episode,
in the
too.
past year. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He was a guest and it was fun.
Yes. So we've got we've got a sack segment. We've got a heavy thought segment. Any preference on what we do next?
I think preference wise, we should maybe we should read one more ad and
Okay.
then dive into this stuff, because we got a
Sounds good.
can to get to too, Tanner.
Oh, we have a can.
Maybe we
too.
should do a can first.
Okay,
Maybe we
let's-
should
yeah.
hop into this can here.
Well, we don't want to be parched for our ad
We
reads.
don't. And Tanner, I do not believe you've had this flavor. So
Okay. Do I need to don
hop
my
on into Flavor Town.
protective gear?
Yeah, put on your
My PPE,
your
personal protective equipment,
for the crispy boys.
just to be OSHA compliant here.
That's right. We don't want any complaints. And snap on into that guy there. Oh, we better wait for you to get
Just gonna
suited
leave
back
these
up
off
here.
until I get to that point.
Yeah, you're probably okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're going in for the
All
first
right.
one.
Whoa. Carried away there.
And I gotta be honest with you, I forgot what the flavor was, but just based off of the smell, I feel like I might. Okay. I already would have got it wrong, Tanner. And I could have looked.
It feels like it smells stronger than it tastes.
It certainly does. It's refreshing though.
It's good. Oh, God. When was the last time I ever got one right?
Didn't we have lime not that long ago and you got it? You got to be like me, Tanner. Just right off the cuff, just guess it immediately.
It's just
and
nothing.
say you're wrong.
Let me try one more here. So. Oh. I feel like whenever I don't know, I just say strawberry. I think someone made a meme about that the other day. They're like, I don't know,
strawberry is a fruit, so it's never a bad guess.
I'm going to say strawberry kiwi.
Well, Tanner, you are wrong.
Okay.
It is raspberry. And the second word,
yeah.
I feel like I've heard people say it. I say acai.
I don't know. That's one in my head.
And I've also heard people say what.
That's one I try not to verbalize because I don't know what.
Yeah, I say raspberry acai.
Yeah, it does taste like raspberry.
It does.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was blueberry when I smelled
What
it.
does
I couldn't remember.
acai taste like?
I don't know if anyone's ever actually had it.
That's one of those ones that they put in after the primary flavor.
Yep, just to spice it up.
Yeah.
So I'd maybe give that. I'd probably give that 3.5 JDs.
And this is an aha.
It is an aha. Aha. Yes. Tanner, you know what else is aha?
Do tell.
Today's show is brought to you by the Strength Co. Ooh. And you could also say their new 100-pound plates.
Yes. And 2.5, or was it 1 1.25?
I think it was
1 1.25.
They're really big and
I
really
don't
small.
know that they're quite for sale yet, but probably very soon it looks like.
Yes. And you what's that? You say tell me more? I'd
Tell
love
me more.
to.
Yes, please.
The Strength Co. operates starting strength affiliate gyms out of Southern California. They have a staff of experienced starting strength coaches that know the best way to develop strength through the barbell movements. Grant, the owner of the Strength Co., is a Marine, and he is passionate about obtaining quality American products and labor for all aspects of his business. The Strength Co. makes premium, made-in-America barbell equipment, including their machined and E-coated plates, soon to be in 1 1/4 through 100-pound variants.
Yep.
These plates are functional, easy to handle, accurate, and made to last a lifetime.
No 35s, though. Still.
Sans 35.
Yeah.
The Strength Co. plates have become the go-to choice for all members at Massenomics Gym. Check out their plates and all their other made-in-America equipment online at thestrengthco.com. That's thestrengthco.com. All right, Tanner. Keep this train moving.
All right. Next, we are going to do a sack segment. Glenn.
All right.
This is maybe you want to read the note here.
Oh, am I allowed to read the whole thing?
What do you see on the back of it there, first of all?
So I see 2 ladies on stripper poles.
What's the name?
Ho Apparel. But it's
Well, how do you spell it?
Heaux. I had to do
So
a
it's
double take there.
fancy.
It is
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for being willing to rep our new little company. Pole fitness isn't exactly powerlifting, but it is a strength sport in its own right. I don't doubt that. I'm hoping we can blend the two while providing cool clothing for all sizes of women. Maybe one day we can sponsor your podcast. Thanks for always making me laugh. Susan.
Big Susan, longtime friend of the Massenomics
Yes.
podcast. And so it wasn't just a card. Yeah. Which is funny. So this came, we had a I get a lot of packages at my house between Massenomics and everything else. Like the UPS man is not between the
stranger.
gym and yeah. It's funny though that day. I think this was actually this was UPS. We had like 3 or 4 packages. He had them all, and he set this one propped this one nicely on top. And I have to imagine it was not on accident.
For the missus, I don't want to.
And so my wife did get this, and she's like, "What is that?" Because it's got the big
the 2 silhouettes of ladies on poles.
But
We got some goods here.
Things falling out.
We got stickers with the gold foil. What?
One with, one without, and then here I believe it's yours.
Okay. Damn, man. Let's get into this. All right, so we got a t-shirt here. Size large, as I like to wear.
How did she know?
Oh, baby. Printed on a good tee, too. I always got to, Tanner, when you're in the business, you always got to look and see what people are printing on.
Yep.
So we got the Ho Apparel tees.
The black tee with the gold.
These
print.
look good. I like them. I like it. I'm holding them up on the camera.
Yes.
If you're watching the podcast, we're both holding up our Ho Apparel tees, so you can check these out. Yeah, I feel like you go out in town with this. This is putting out a message.
This does put out a certain message, doesn't it?
It does. I like it. Wow. And also, you'd say, I don't know. Is that company from the 70s or is this from today? You don't really know. You could believe it. You could go either way with it.
I'm actually so stupid. When I first read it, I didn't even read it in my head as Ho Apparel. I just did one of those things like I was talking about Akai, where I just kind of, when I don't
like,
really
I
know
don't
word,
say that word,
yeah, it's
so
like I
I'll
just
just
gloss over that one, and then I was like, oh wait, it's ho.
Yeah.
You know, so that's funny.
At first, I thought you were putting me on the spot, and I was like getting trapped, like I was going to say it wrong. But
Yeah.
wow, very cool. So yeah,
that's
check
good
out
stuff.
Ho Apparel. Let me find their official thing here.
Yeah.
On Facebook, Ho Apparel, and on Instagram at Ho_Apparel, HEAUX_apparel.
Yes. So if you're into
Pole
dancing fitness, or maybe you think someday you want to be into it,
You know, how to get a pole, how to use a pole.
how to dance on it. No doubt though that's very hard. Like physically demanding.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, never.
Never ever. What else what was next here on the list, Tanner?
We did have a heavy thoughts segment. Do you remember our heavy
Ooh.
thoughts?
This is new. Well, we've kind of mentioned it once.
Yeah, it's not. We've
It's
done.
not
I think
new.
we kind
but
of
it's-
did it once without knowing it was a segment. I think we kind of did it again, and so this might be the third iteration of heavy thoughts.
We're just polishing it a little more each
yes,
time.
right. So I think heavy thoughts is becoming a fan favorite,
I think so.
and it's a double entendre because it's heavy is something we talk about lifting weights a lot, but also heavy like it's a deep thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're really going beyond skin deep on this one. We're digging in the next level,
Past
like
the surface.
Right. We really are hard thinkers, not just like big weights, me lift them.
Oh, are these guys philosophers
Yes,
over here?
Right. So heavy thoughts. This is an idea. I think I talked to you about it in the gym, and I know I have a couple other people. And it's this feeling where I feel like I am always never more than one good day or one bad day away from completely doing a 180 on my outlook on how my lifting and training is going. It's only ever one day away from just completely flipping the script. And in addition to that, I've had two different thoughts. I wonder what you think. My first reaction is like, that's kind of an immature way of looking at it because, you have to see the forest through the trees. You have to,
It's the macro that matters, not the micro.
Not the individual day doesn't matter. And I understand that that's true, but I still get that feeling where I'm like, I had a bad day and it's like, the sky is falling. I will never be able to do this lift again. I don't know why I don't just quit doing it. And why am I even trying? Or the opposite where it's like, I'm going to break all of the records. I am going to crush my former self.
Yeah, I had one good day here, and the sky's the limit.
Yes.
Look out, world.
Yes. So my thought, that's kind of an immature take on it. My other thought, though, like conversely, it's kind of something I experience more as I've gotten older because you have these rougher days
Right.
more often and you start to think like,
And you get more jaded on the process in general. Like when you're new, everything's fresh, and you have such a good outlook on
and you're
things.
so young. It's like, well, yeah, I'm probably, even if I have a bad day, I'm going to feel fine tomorrow.
I have infinite time. This doesn't matter.
Right. And at a certain age, you're like, oh, wait, yeah, that's my back that hurts. And I don't know if it's been hurting. That's been bothering me every time. I don't know if it's ever going to feel better. So me having this bad day, I'm like, yep, that was it.
Yeah, I 100% get what you're saying, Tanner. Like for me, like it's just been starting probably basically since after the last meet I did like 3 years ago. It's just been a road of almost all downs and very few ups. Like that's how I would describe this road.
Yeah,
it's been
right,
downhill and
right.
very few downhill as in bad, like as in
Not like
progress,
we're
climbing the mountain
skating downhill.
Like
Yeah.
in this metaphor, climbing the mountain up is progress,
Yeah.
and going down the mountain is regression. And so
Right.
in this case, it's been like almost a free fall down the mountains at times, and it hasn't even been until I would say this year where I felt like I'm taking steps up that mountain again.
Right.
But even then, just recently, I get 11 weeks of feeling like progress and then kind of a minor setback. And it's like, damn, was that just a 1 week thing? Or is this going to be a 2, 3, 4 week?
Right.
Like what's going to happen here? And, and then, yeah, I know I'm having trouble verbalizing it because it is so frustrating.
Yeah. Right. So do you experience that specifically to some degree where you have a good day and you're like,
Yeah, I really do. Like for me, most recently, like squats have been going really, really good, and bench I could actually both. I could literally feel progress
Yeah.
every single week.
Yeah.
I'd been very conservative on my squat, so it wasn't as exciting because I know more's there. I'm just really trying to play the longevity thing at the moment.
Right.
And bench, I am pushing it more, and like my numbers are coming back fairly fast. And so that one's like more exciting every week because it's like, oh, I haven't touched any weights like this in over a year. So like these do really feel like actual progression is happening here.
Right.
But you're definitely in that spot too right now.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Like that being said, like just right now, if I'm looking at this as the larger picture, not exactly what's going on for me right now, the second, because things are actually going great. I'm actually in that mode where I've had a lot of days where I'm like, boy, I'm like I am just gonna crush what I've done before. You know, I get that thought, and you more so get the sky is fall. It's easier to feel like the sky is falling than to feel like it's going great, but that's kind of an easy way to paint the picture on both sides. Is like I have been feeling pretty good, and things have been going well, and like my getting ready for this meet is going almost
too well.
Knock on fake wood. Like it is like, and that is a thought in my head sometimes. I'm like, when is going to be the day that something bad is going to happen here? Because
so does my peak end next week?
well, it's like it's almost like, when am I going to like acutely hurt something where I'm like, I do something and feel a pop?
Yeah,
you know, like
no, I know, yeah,
because I'm peaking.
Heavy weights.
My weights are getting heavier, and even up until today, I had like this week I had a great squat, a great bench, and a great deadlift.
Like an all-time PR bench, right?
Yeah, yeah. The heaviest pause bench I've ever done. I had the heaviest squat I've ever done in sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
My deadlift it wasn't a PR, not very close, but still like going really good and just doing good things. But I still get that thought of like, oh, when is that thing going to happen that is supposed to happen here soon? Because if it doesn't, I'm just going to have to go ahead and have a good meet.
I'll just go on this. Yeah. What am I supposed to do with this? Show up and put a meet together?
Right. If something doesn't happen soon, it's just going to go real good all the way to the end. But I'm not going to push my luck though. Like if I make it through the meet and everything goes really
You'll
great,
take your chips and cash
well,
them in.
Then it's like I double down and go for bigger PRs the next week. No, it's like I am going to like back off on the heavy lifts for a while and just kind of
just
do some other
make your way off with what you got and count it
right.
which I think is probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah, and be like, well, now I can do that again like next year, hopefully, if I want to.
Yeah, and that is the thing. Like when you look at like getting discouraged, like when you don't have a meet coming up, a bad training session can be annoying, but it's not that discouraging because it's like, well, I just had a bad training day. This doesn't mean much in the scheme of things. Like not in a season for anything. The more discouraging thing is injury. That's
right.
And
yes,
almost always that is the most discouraging thing.
Yes.
But when you're getting closer to a meet, bad training days can be really discouraging, almost more so than injuries at times, because a lot of
like
times it just feels like it's a mental
aspect,
thing. And like, what's broken in my head now?
Right. Yeah. It's like, well, now I am discouraged to the point that I don't think I can do any of the things I was planning on doing in the next few weeks leading up to the meet, let alone the meet.
And we should both say, like, when we say bad training day, it's not like just bombing sets.
No,
that's never
it's
the
just
case.
kind of like,
it's just like, why was that so hard? I think I almost died today, and that's not how today was supposed to be.
Right.
Those are the discouraging days I think that we encounter. Not I was supposed to do 5 sets and I made it through 2. Like
no,
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, that doesn't.
Well, it happens to people, but
if any, if to injury, it's possible for that to happen, but that's 2 separate things, whether we're talking injury or just like kind of having a bad day.
Yeah.
That was my heavy thoughts. Ideas for the most part. It was pretty heavy, wasn't it?
That was pretty heavy, Tanner.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
What else do we have on the list here?
Well, we do have a guest today.
We do have a guest coming up soon. Do I need to read another ad, or do we have any other particular segments we need to hit?
I'll put it this way, Tanner. You can either read podcast reviews now or later. That's your choice. Assuming you even have them ready. I don't know.
Maybe I'll do that later because our guest is ready. So let's hit you with another ad, Tommy.
Okay. Do you want me to read the ad while you prep the guest, or are you good to go there?
Maybe you should read an ad. That's actually a good call.
Okay. That way you can get all of
acting like you've done this before.
That way you can get all of your equipment ready over there, Tanner.
Should I start pressing these buttons?
The buttons that you have no idea what they do, please push those a lot. And you know how I said about you being ready? Well, now I'm ready, Tanner.
Okay.
Whether you need, today's show is brought to you by SPUD Inc. and the Neck Harness. Whether you need a strong neck for your sport or you just want a freaky strong neck, the SPUD Inc. neck harness can get you there. Made from soft but extremely durable webbing and fully adjustable via industrial strength Velcro, the neck harness is the strongest, most comfortable neck trainer out there. Perform traditional neck exercises by attaching the harness to plate weight or get creative with bands, sleds, or anything else you can think of. The SPUD Inc. neck harness is made in America, and you can check it out online at spud-inc-straps.com.
All right.
Thank you, SPUD Inc.
Thank you, SPUD Inc.
Thank you for that lovely ad.
Now I got our guest on the line here, hopefully.
Hello.
Hey, Andy, you're on the Massenomics podcast with Tanner and Tommy. How you doing?
What's up, Andy?
Good. What's up, guys? How are you?
Good. We're excited to get you on here. Did we pull you away from recording your own podcast tonight?
We finished like 10 minutes ago, so just in time.
You're doing kind of the podcast marathon tonight then.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Back to back.
You're going to get a sore ass.
No, at least with yours, I can walk around.
Okay. Yeah. No, we're excited to get you on here. And, you know, that's kind of one of the things we're curious about talking to you. You've done a couple different podcasts over the years. Right now you've got yours going with John Hack. Is it Two Bros, One Shaker Cup?
Yes, sir.
It's a good name too. Who came up with that?
That's a great name.
We kind of like went through like a bunch of names and we talked to our friends and pulled it and see. But John really liked this one because some people who don't get it, they're like, I don't understand it. And then we have to explain it to them. And then they're exposed to the first time they have to watch that video.
And you just get to watch a part of them die right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
That video that just lives on forever.
That one video.
Yeah. And then prior to that, you recorded with Brandon Allen in the Broadcast. And
Yep.
then even before that, had you done something else before that too?
Not podcast wise. I've done like been on other people's podcasts,
Okay.
but I was just doing like my own YouTube for a while and
Okay.
doing some stuff that I think that was earlier, like I think early for powerlifters doing YouTubes, but not early for like the YouTube movement.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah.
So Brandon and John are probably very different in a lot of ways, I would think.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. What's it like for you? You know, you're the common thread between the two shows then. You know, you're the co-host that's been on both. How would you compare or contrast what it's like with Brandon versus what it's like with John?
Yeah, there's definitely a ton of like differences and almost polar opposites. I mean, John's really introverted, so he doesn't talk as well or as much, and he's not as animated and certainly not as unfiltered as Brandon. And then you got Brandon, smoking and drinking and cussing like on the podcast, literally saying anything on his mind. And so it definitely, those are the two most obvious differences. But the catalyst is just powerlifting and having fun and just talking like if we're at dinner, hanging out or just on the couch talking or in the gym. So, I think I could do that with, just about anybody who's competed at a high level and knows and does coaching and knows the, ins and outs of powerlifting.
Right.
And you guys record in person together now, correct?
No, we don't. Like
you don't?
we because of Zoom now, we don't really need to.
Okay.
Right.
In the past, we did with Brandon, we did Skype, but that quality wasn't the best. But now with Zoom, it's a lot easier and a lot better quality. And so yeah, I mean, John lives probably 20, 25 minutes away from me, but it's just more convenient to not have to like do it in person.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's more challenging than between the two? Would you say at times reeling in Brandon or trying to keep him from maybe going completely off the rails, or, you know, John's more subdued, maybe getting him to get outside of his comfort zone more on the podcast?
I think that definitely it was reeling Brandon in. No, I mean, because John, he still speaks. It just depends on the topic. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's not that introverted, but like when we're talking about powerlifting, that's easier for him to talk about. And if he knows the guest and all these things, so that's not really that hard to do. And you know, he knows what's going on, and you know, it's a podcast. He has to talk. Whereas Brandon, you know, it could go just in so many directions at any point, and he obviously has very strong beliefs, and especially like things that aren't powerlifting related. And so when he gets off like on a tangent, I kind of have to like reel him back in, and that's just kind of like every more common occurrence for sure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, I think.
Yeah.
Talking about other stuff you do. So you're an owner of Iron Rebel now, is that right?
Yes, I'm a owner. There's 3 owners, and I think I've been owner for about a little over a year now.
Okay. So
I've been working there for 5 years now.
So what did that transition look like? You know, so you worked there for several years, or were a part of it before you became an owner. You know, how did that opportunity come, or what's that been like now that you are an owner? How does it feel different?
Yeah. So before I was I was living in Louisiana. I'm originally from California, but I moved out there just for work and just to kind of see the world or see the country, just be somewhere else. And then towards the tail end of when I was there, I started powerlifting, and then I wanted to move back to California. And at the time, I was like a personal trainer and had, you know, a great base of clients. But to move back, I'd have to like start over. So I was kind of worried about that. But luckily, like powerlifting took off, and then I started coaching more. And then I got on with Juggernaut as a coach for them too. And so I was slowly building my way to where I could transition better. And then I also talked to Iron Rebel when I got sponsored by them. I just talked to them about like, hey, I want to move back, but you know, I kind of want more security. So, you know, I don't want to like just move back without like a better plan and have more income. So they just offered me like a part-time job. So I was like, okay, cool. I can just start in the warehouse, just doing basic stuff while I build up my coaching with on my own and with Juggernaut. And then eventually I just, while I was there, I was able to just provide more ideas and being, you know, in the community on the streets and in the meets and just be more of a face for Iron Rebel. They just gave me more responsibility and just more belief in me. And then the previous owner, I don't know if you guys know who Ed Koo was.
Yeah, I think I had seen before that him as a previous owner. Yeah. Yeah.
So without getting into like messy details, he ended up being kicked out as partner, and Shelly, the original, the creator and owner, you know, she's more behind the scenes, more of the business side, the paperwork and all that stuff. So, you know, so it was an easy transition when she asked me to just become, you know, an owner and take on the role that Ed had, and then just, you know, add on to it and just do a different, better job, I guess I consider it.
Yeah.
And so it was just a great transition. You know, she knew that obviously I was just, you know, love being part of Iron Rebel and helping it grow. And yeah, it's my, I guess it's my life, and I really like, you know, the community and the sport and help grow it. And definitely being part of Iron Rebel obviously helps me with a bigger reach and have a direct impact, like through our products and, you know, competing and stuff and being at meets and stuff.
Cool. With Iron Rebel, would you say a bigger portion of your customer base comes from the powerlifting world or the bodybuilding world, or just some combination of both?
Yeah, it's hard to say like the exact percentage, because we also have just regular gym goers. So like, I don't know,
true.
you can,
Yeah.
like, you can't like quote unquote call them bodybuilders or powerlifters per se, because a lot of people power lift but aren't power lifters. So,
Right.
but I can at least say that our majority of our customers are male, about 80%. But we're definitely trying to grow the female side. So like I said, it's hard to say because like I am more responsible for the powerlifting world, so it's kind of mostly what I see.
Right.
And we can't really just poll our customers like, hey, are you powerlifter or whatever. But I think the beginnings of it was powerlifting based because of we started with gear, and it's more of like our identity first and foremost.
Okay.
But we're definitely growing to where we're trying to get into different spaces and different audiences where we're not just bodybuilding powerlifting, because I feel like we're pretty much like established in those two communities, so we want to grow outside now.
Right on. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So your handle on Instagram is it that huge Asian guy? Is that the right handle?
It is.
So are you the strongest Asian guy?
Well, it's hard to say because do you base it on Wilks?
Well, slice it or dice it either way.
Yeah.
Like, what about just absolute strength? Are you the strongest Asian? Like, is there anyone that could
Bigger
be
total.
considered strong? Yeah, bigger total, or in some other way be considered stronger?
Okay, so if we're just powerlifting specific, then I can't think of another Asian male has a bigger total than me. Then no. But if we're talking like weightlifting, then yeah, there's little Chinese boys probably stronger than me. But
right. Yeah.
But no, I think as far as I can't think of a lot of like Asian powerlifters with the bigger in the bigger weight classes. So obviously back when I started, I think like a guy I followed who's really funny is Jordan Huang.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, and very strong too.
Very strong, but as far as the top end like total lifted, I think if anybody out there hears this can correct me, but if we look at open powerlifting, I definitely think I'm, without testing ancestry on everybody, I think I'm yeah.
Actually, pretty big honor too, because I don't know what the population numbers are in the world.
Pretty
but
large population group, though.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the emperor.
Who's the guy? Is it like Deadlift Panda or something? Like he?
Oh yeah,
he has a huge
Deadlift Panda.
Oh, is that okay?
Oh yeah.
But I don't know what I just only his deadlifts pop up to me on Instagram all the time, but I don't really know his other lifts, honestly. But
yeah, his deadlift is definitely his strongest lift. His other ones aren't anything to really speak about. But yeah, he's definitely crazy strong, and I think he's only like 180 pounds.
Yeah.
But I think too, if we go by Wilks, I am also still stronger than everybody technically.
So by absolute strength or by Wilks, so it's kind of undisputed at that point.
Yeah.
But also I don't know if we're gonna take in consideration like mixed people, quarter Asian, a tenth. I don't know. So we don't want to get into technicalities, but I probably the full made in Taiwan, full Chinese. I think I'm the strongest. Yes.
I think that's a prime award to have.
Yeah, you do, and you do have a very good catchy Instagram handle that you got. But you could also been world's strongest Asian. I think would have been pretty good
if you ever decide to change it.
Right. I think that could be another good option.
So how I got that name was like in Louisiana when I was still bodybuilding at the time, and a lot of people would see me in the gyms and in the like supplement stores and whatever, the whole community. But if they didn't know my name and they never talked to me, we never met, then they would like start referring to me. They'd be like, oh, that huge Asian guy.
Yeah.
And it just got around. And so like, that's where the name came from. So it's very,
it fits.
very fit. Yeah.
It's that huge Asian guy.
Yeah.
Andy's hard to remember. So
Yeah, it's very hard.
Okay, that's cool. Kind of talking about training and your powerlifting. I know you've put up some really big totals. Squatted well over 800, deadlifted well over 800, benched over 500. But I think you've done what's your best total? Is it like close to 2,200 or?
So in reps, I've done 22, 27,
Yep.
and then raw just leaves 2193. So not quite that 2200.
Okay.
So my best squat raw in just leaves is 843, and then best in reps is 880. Oh, sorry, I didn't do it in competition. I've done 887 a couple times in training, but I've done 873. That was at the Kern, where everybody got red lighted because of the judging.
Yeah.
And then
the judge on the one side gave everyone red lights for
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I've benched 523 in a meet and pulled 848 in a meet. Those are my best. Yeah.
Well, so what I was kind of wondering is something we were just talking about not too long ago. Tommy and I are both like in our mid 30s. We've both been powerlifting for several years. We're very intermediate at best, but we a lot of times like we get to we start to think like, does the age catch up with us? Like, are we able to still even at our level be as strong as we were at one other point in time? I think you're couple years older than us. Are you like 37 or somewhere in that range?
Yeah, I'll be 37 in August. I was born in 84. So yeah, I'm definitely I feel what you guys are saying. I think what you're leading to is like, so I've been lifting consistently. Like, I don't think I've ever taken more than like 3 or 4 days off since I was 15. So we're going on over 20
years. Yeah. 20 plus years.
And I played football in high school and a little bit in college, but even after college, I never stopped like squatting, and then into bodybuilding, I kept squatting. So I've been squatting
for 20 plus years.
Every week for 20 something years. So like my joints are probably headed to like, to the point where like, I'll probably need to like back off a lot. So over the past year or two, with the injuries I've had and just kind of like the lack of progress, I've kind of like accepted the fact that like I'm probably on the downslope of my career. Not saying I can't make progress, but I definitely have to be more careful. I think I have to not compete as much anymore. Even two meets a year might be too much. I think I'm gonna just back off and just start doing one a year. And I've implemented to where there's days where I don't power lift specifically, quote unquote. I've been going to like a commercial LA Fitness and just doing like bodybuilding, because I feel like that's what got me my initial success. My first powerlifting meet, I totaled 1868, which obviously was very elite at the time. That was back in 2017, I believe. But then in 2 years, I added over 230 pounds to my total. So I feel like my base with bodybuilding and my muscle size and the training I did with all the volume, it really, gave me a great transition to it. But since I've started powerlifting, I've just been so like specific with powerlifting, even with like volume blocks, quote unquote, but I haven't stopped like directly squatting and deadlifting. So I feel like at least I want to try to where I back off completely from powerlifting for longer periods of time during my off season, and then see how that does. And so far it's been doing well for my injuries and my joints and stuff. So I think the carrot is just dangling just enough to where I still have some motivation in me and some belief that I can still make progress. I just have to do it a different way than I've been doing it the last 4 or 5 years. And I just have to be more patient. So yeah, that's where my mindset is at now. Like I'm definitely have to slow down. I don't have a lot of years left, but I still can compete at this high level that, the John Hacks are doing.
So for you, like mentally, like recognizing that and making that switch, was that hard for you, or did you accept that fairly easily?
Some days it's hard because when I totaled 2193, I was 30 pounds away from breaking Stan Records all-time world record at the time.
Yep.
Then,
And that's a big record. That's a big one.
At the time, it was big for me
Yeah.
because Stan was like, one of my biggest inspirations doing this, and when I did it, I was so close. I'm like, I'm just like 1 meet away. So
Right.
I really rushed the next meet, and I ignored probably like being more patient, doing some more volume blocks and little injuries, and then just started this cascade where I would get injured, and then come back just with enough time to prep, but never not enough time to have an actual off season. And then freaking Larry Wheels comes along, and Dennis Cornelius like has an amazing meet, so that raised the bar, and so I'm like, okay, fuck that, and I still kept pushing
Push harder,
it,
faster.
push harder, faster. I just need to just. It's the one thing in my career that I really wanted to do, but with the injuries, like, I tore my adductor right off the current 2 years ago. And that was just like a big injury. I've never had such a big injury. And so I think at that point I was like, okay, I can't look at other people anymore. I have to just improve myself. So yes, I did. It was an easier transition at that point because I kept getting injured. And I was like, okay, I think my body is towards my limit. I can't expect to make the progress. I mean, the first 2 years and then based on the previous 2 years. And then also there's just freaks like Larry who, even if I did maybe break this record, he could just come back and break it too, which I have no doubt. So yeah, it just slowly with maturity and letting my ego go, I know that, like, and then this past year, oh man, his name's escaping me. His Instagram name's Ortmeyer, but he raised the bar again, and he totaled over 2,300 for my. So now the bar is even higher. So now I have to like readjust my goals. Like, okay, breaking an all-time record is probably not in my cards, and I just have to accept like making smaller goals or ones that are more realistic for me. But I think even after I retire, or quote unquote retire, that will be one of my biggest regrets, is not being able to break a world record.
Yeah. Well, I think you have a really realistic viewpoint on it now, though, too. And it kind of sucks. Like, you at the time you just wanted to push harder, faster, and maybe you weren't all that injured and you were so close to the world record. So you just, in hindsight, it's easy to say, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have backed off, taken more time, come back stronger and healthier. I would have probably hit bigger totals over that time period of time.
But there's always that what if.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And like at the time, you can't. It's almost impossible to think like that. Like when you're that close, and like you can't. You're like, no, I'm coming back for the next big one, and like I can get a little stronger. Right. And it's like, yeah, that last that third deadlift, it actually moved pretty good. On a good day, there's probably 10 more kilos there. Like it's just, that's really hard at that point in time, especially probably when you're that close to it. Yeah,
I was that close to it, and just based on my trajectory of how fast I was improving, I was like, oh yeah, next meet, no problem. And also another side, I don't know if you guys talk about drugs on this.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. We had Pete on a few episodes back, and he really got into big time on his philosophy and how he's changed things and that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, at my peak, I definitely don't think I was like as high as some of the stories I've heard about other lifters, but
yeah,
I was pushing it pretty hard, and I wasn't feeling great, and I was very toxic, and I was heavier, and I looked a little more red than I should be, and so I think that also contributed to my injuries, just taking the wrong stuff that like I can contribute to just making your muscles a little too tight and stuff like that, and just the amounts and stuff like that. So I think I've definitely backed off from that too, and yeah, maybe that's affecting my progress a little bit, but I definitely would take the the alternative of being more healthy,
Yeah.
feeling better than pushing in the way I felt. And I think also I was not healthy mentally at that point too, because I was just very focused on my whole life was focused that way, and I couldn't let anything outside of powerlifting into my life. So that affected relationships and stuff too, and that happened in bodybuilding too. So that's kind of like my part of my personality and how I do things and how competitive I am. But definitely now I'm way more balanced and have a better perspective on like what's more important and how to approach things.
Yeah. Don't they just say up the dose, lift the most though?
Yeah, there's many
Words of
phrases
wisdom.
like that. Yeah.
lots of ways to justify it if you want to.
Yeah, but then it's like, well, if that was the case, then
Right.
everybody would just get stronger, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But I don't think there's any shortage of people that is their philosophy. Though.
Right. Yeah, that is what they think too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's good. And
You know what?
Okay.
Sorry, I just thought about this the other day because, so I feel like, another one of my idols. You guys obviously know Dan Green.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he's battled like years of injuries.
Oh yeah,
and all
he's
these
been
great
through like
things.
some major ups and downs.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Yeah.
And while I don't know how old he is exactly. but
I don't know for sure.
he might be slightly younger than us or maybe our age, but man, he's on the comeback. So like
Right.
he gives me hope.
That's
So
a good point.
Yeah.
Well, how old
So-
was Stan when he broke world record? I mean,
Wasn't he
was
about 40?
Yeah.
He was in his 40s. So
Yeah.
so that, like I said, that carrot is still there, and I just have to change my philosophies, and then there's no reason why I can't make progress still. I just have to be more realistic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to be more like Dan Green is all.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna grow my hair out.
Yes, that's good.
Just look like you're ready to go to a bodybuilding show at any point in time.
Yeah.
Well, and so you switched away from Juggernaut recently too. You're training with Ryan out of Strong Barbell Club now. Is that right?
Yeah. Man, you guys are stalkers. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Well, you're not wrong.
I was with Chad.
I noticed your underwear looks different today too.
Yeah, it's more silky now. Yeah, I started off with Chad. He was my first coach ever, and obviously he got me to my peaks, and I still work for Juggernaut.
Okay, you do then.
but-
Okay.
Yeah. But it just got to a point where, also Chad got out of coaching, quote unquote, for the most part, except for maybe Marissa. So
Yep.
I know his heart and his mentality was just not into coaching as much. And after working for them for, I think, 3 or 4 years, I already know how he programs me.
Yeah.
And
You know what's
nothing-
next. Yeah.
I know what's next. I know how he peaks me, and also, and I'm not blaming his programming for this, but I was just getting injured and stuff a lot more, and I needed more like different accessories, different warm up work, mobility work that he doesn't do, which is not it's not a knock on him. That's just not his specialty, and that's not what he's focused on.
Right.
So for a brief moment, I went to Trevor, and I was just trying to find different things and see what I could do to improve my body from a not the programming sense, but just different exercises, different ways to warm up and do prehab versus just getting back from injuries, and different and then a little bit of different programming. But and then I was with Trevor for a while, and I learned a lot of stuff from him, but his programming was not for me. But I still I'll still reach out to him if I have questions about coaching another athlete. So he's still a great source of information and coaching. But then Ryan and I don't know, I think we just clicked. He's very fluid. I had a slight little injury, weird hip thing that came up a couple months ago, and we were able to just navigate that around that. And so I think it's like Ryan does coach me, but it's still definitely a collaboration.
Right.
Where it's probably 70-30 where he does most of it, and it just takes a lot of thinking out of it for me. But also, in many ways, John is my training partner. I see him every day, and he's also, quote unquote, coaching me, but more like from a training partner standpoint, and helping me, every day to day with different lifts and being a second eye.
What does he really know about lifting heavy, though?
Really.
I don't know. I mean, he just it's hard, but it's funny too, because like sometimes John's like, well, you got just do it better,
do more, better, like me.
It's like, hey,
John,
if I wanted to know about Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I'd ask you.
yes, yeah. John definitely is not too what am I trying to say? He's not too arrogant to know he's not great the best at technique. So he'll tell me, like, I don't know. I kind of just do it. I just do it this way.
And it worked. It's worked for me so far. Yeah.
Sometimes people are just so good they don't need to worry about that part of it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, thanks, John. I'll be sure to. I'll pull harder for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
So with Ryan, it's just been a good collab, and this will be my first actual meet with him for the showdown, because I had to pull out of the current because of this weird hip issue thing that I was having for about 5-6 weeks. It wasn't like a bad injury where I couldn't lift, but it was definitely limiting my lift. So I just decided to pull out of the current, and the current was just something I do because I hate wraps. I don't think I'll ever do wraps again. But when it first came out, it was just such a big spectacle with all the best lifters and the money and all that. So I was like, I'll throw on wraps and just see. But the Kern's also like only an hour away from me, so it was just like more convenience, but also a big meet. And but I'm cursed with the Kern. So the first Kern I did was 2017, I think. I don't know. Either way, I blew out my quad, or I tore my quad in my opening squat, so that's done. And then the year after that was the one where I talked about with the weird judging. So I had a great squat, great knee going in, but then after my second deadlift, I pulled my hamstring, I strained it, so I couldn't even do my third deadlift. And then the most recent one I did was where I blew out my adductor. And then this prep, I hurt my glute. So like, I'm just destined to not do the Kern or not do well.
Yeah,
so
I just stay away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from it and just be the handler that I am, and just show up and just help people, because I really enjoy that too now.
Yeah. When in doubt, it's never a bad idea to pull out. That's what I've always learned.
There you go.
Andy, we've had a lot of guests on our podcast over the years, and we've gotten to have a lot of cool people on it. So I'm wondering, with your show, is there anyone, we've reached out to a lot of people. We've gotten to get a lot of cool people, some we haven't been able to get to. Is there anyone like on your wish list that you would like to get as a guest on the show that you haven't been able to up to this point, or that you maybe haven't tried yet?
Let me think. Oh, well, Dan Green.
Yeah.
He just doesn't do them. So.
No, I was gonna say that would just be. I do remember he was on Mark Bell's Powercast.
Like
once.
I feel like one of his first episodes. Even it was early on.
He did not say very much though, from what I remember from it.
He does have a lot of content with Dave Tate though. He had a few.
That's true. I actually do remember him doing one with him that was actually pretty good. He seemed to open up a lot more for that one. That was really good.
So funny story about Dan. So I visited. Do you guys know the muscle doc Jordan Shallow?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So so Jordan is a chiropractor, and he was working out of Boss Barbell for a while, and then so I just visited one weekend just to hang out with him and lift at Boss, and Dan just happened to be there, and so we kind of deadlifted together. But throughout the session, like, he didn't speak much.
Yeah.
But then like right afterwards, like after deadlifting, we did like some accessories, and Dan, like, we talked here and there. So I was like, okay, yeah, Dan's just not very talkative or whatever. But it was cool getting to hang out with him and blah, blah. And then so like after that, like Jordan and I go eat or whatever, and he's like, "Hey man, Dan really likes you." I'm like, "Really? How do you know? How do you know?" He's like, "He's never talked that much to somebody who doesn't like work out here." I'm like, that was talking a lot. Like, yeah,
That's funny. Doesn't Dan follow 0 people on Instagram? Is that
it's
right?
0.
Yeah.
It is.
So is following 0 people on Instagram a gangster move, or is that a dick move?
It's definitely a gangster movie. It's like because like it's like those big celebrities or companies who don't follow anybody. Dan is a brand.
Yeah.
But he's still on there. He still like responds to our comments, so he's still there. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know how he follows other people. I think he just like searches and.
I don't know what it looks
Gotta
like
do
when
it.
you follow
Gotta
nobody.
do it the manual way, I
right,
guess.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Maybe you care even more because you have to put in the effort to look up people. Then
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
That is pretty boss, I would say.
That is a boss. The boss.
Andy, we've got this game we like to play with everyone on the show. We call it Overrated, Underrated. So we have a series of special topics for you, and it's just your job to decide whether they're overrated, underrated. You can't ride the line. You have to come up with a decision, and this part is pretty serious shit. So if you're ready, we'll get into it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, good. Okay. Overrated or underrated Jordan 1s?
Underrated.
What's your favorite Jordan?
Jordan ones.
Okay, that's what I thought.
what's your favorite colorway?
Black and red is like my favorite colors. So the black and red, yeah.
Okay.
You got to pay the price premium though if you're going black and red.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, I'm not like a crazy collector, and I don't resell and all that stuff. And I do wear my shoes. I lift in them, but I do have like 3 or 4 pairs I don't touch.
Okay.
Like don't even wear them out, or you're just careful.
No, I don't. No, I don't even like wear them out. Like I'm possibly like I'll probably resell them or just keep them. Yeah.
Because you squat and bench and do you do everything in Jordans?
I don't deadlift in them. They're just a little too thick, too high up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on squat, you have no problem like that. Have you tried others before? I mean, are Jordans obviously they look cool, but like, do you also feel like they're the functional good choice for you? Like, does it feel good for you?
They definitely feel good. It's not solely looks. I started off squatting in heels. It was like the Adidas Powerlift, so not a super high heel.
Yeah.
I've tried Romanellos, but they're just the heel's too high. It really pitches me forward. I can't get like an even footing on it. I'm either all the way on my toes or all the way on my heels. So the medium heel helped me. But after blowing out my quad and having a lot of knee issues, the heels just make my knees go past my toes way too much. And at the weights I was squatting or used to squat, and it was just too much sheer force, and my knees would always be hurting, always sore. And I've never had a problem with depth, so I just decided to like start switching into flats, and lo and behold, I was still able to squat low fine. And then just Jordan 1s just happened to be like at the time the Reebok lifters weren't being made. So I was like, okay, I want like a really solid shoe that's like has a really hard sole. But more important for me, like I've tried Chucks and Vans, but I have a really wide foot.
Yeah, they're super skinny.
So narrow.
Especially the toe box is super skinny.
Yeah, and they're not very like supportive, so I'd always like blow out the pinky part. So and then I just wore Jordans generally casually outside of the gym, and then so I started squatting them, and it worked. And I will definitely say I'm not the first one to lift in Jordans, but I think I'm the first one to squat in Jordan 1s and make it a thing. I know like Russ Wool does it now, but I definitely did it before him. So
he learned from the master. Yeah.
I think I'm also that's another title I'm proud of.
That's good.
Yeah. I have video proof, so we'll see. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Overrated or underrated Dragon Ball Z?
Okay, I think it's overrated at this point. I think a lot of people just it's hard to say like if they have actually watched the whole series from the beginning or they just watched the newer ones. but I feel like
when
a
you
lot
say
of people.
newer ones, do you mean like Dragon Ball Kai or whatever they
Yeah.
call it now? Yeah.
Yeah. Versus the original ones were like, you go like 30 episodes between a fight,
Yep.
and you have to have so much patience. And I think it's just like a meme-ish thing now, and
Yes,
people
it
just
is.
it's just a cool thing to support or talk about, but they don't. I
Okay.
don't think they're really fans of it.
When I was a kid, so I want to say I was probably in like 4th or 5th grade, like when Cartoon Network, like Toonami had Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
on every day at like 4:00, and like I
Yeah.
would go home from school and I was so jacked to watch it. And you just made me remember this now when you said about like 30 episodes between fights. Do you
Yeah.
remember? And I could be wrong here. Maybe you remember, but when they're fighting Frieza, and he has his move where he's gonna do like he's gonna blow up the planet with that huge ball. Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. And I think they said like, oh, it's gonna take Frieza's gonna make it's gonna take him 5 minutes to power up this energy ball. We have to stop him. And I remember in my head, like 5 minutes, well, this will be done in this episode. And it didn't get done that episode. I don't think it got done the next episode or the one after. Like, I think it was like 5 episodes for this 5-minute power up. Like, time meant nothing on that show.
No, it didn't.
It was crazy.
It's like dog years. Like,
It was. It was. Like, time had like no perspective on that show. It just like, it didn't matter. But I'd watch every single one.
but it's like, okay, it takes 5 minutes to power up this thing, but you guys can like instantly like transport.
Oh, yeah, they can teleport to anywhere in the world at any point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then there was also the whole thing of like, I remember at that time, like the internet wasn't super easy to come by. So you didn't exactly know what was going on. And like Toonami would get caught up like, all right, they beat Frieza and that's all we have dubbed. So it would just start back over at Raditz or whatever at the very beginning. And you're like, damn, is that the end of the show? You didn't really know anymore. And then they'd build all the way back up to Cell. So it's like, okay, in a year or two, you can see the Cell saga go on now. So
Yeah.
those are my frustrations with the show.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite anime, or is there something else that's better?
I don't watch a ton of anime. I'm more of I read a lot. I read a lot of mangas.
Mhm.
But that is Dragon Ball Z is my all-time favorite. Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Overrated or underrated? The USPA.
I don't know. Like it's just like saying what I think other people think of it. So it's like hard to. I think it's underrated, but I have a different perspective because I work in the same office as them. My business partner is married to Steve Dennison, the president.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I know. So like when a lot of like drama goes on, and the internet is in the social media is like going crazy, I know the behind the scenes, like the reasons why they don't or do things, and so like I guess I'm a little closer to it, and I see like what they put into it and the reasoning behind it. So I think that's why I think they don't get, not that they don't get the credit deserved, but I think I just see when I see negative stuff, I just like I try to like defend them as much as or behind the scenes I do, but I try not to like be super vocal about it on my Instagram because like I can't be biased like that. But I definitely think that people should give USPA like more of a shot, and it should. I think it's like an overall a better association compared to the other one, just based on like what I've seen and heard, and so. Yeah.
Well, and you said other one. You should have said like other 200 really in that.
The bigger competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The natty one.
Yeah. Doesn't your girlfriend lift single ply?
She does.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a single ply USPA division?
Yeah. You can just every full power meet is considered single ply. Like you can do single ply if you want.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
And then they have nationals too. But I think the bigger meet for the USPA one is the Olympia one, where you get
Okay.
That's like where single ply is like
Where people, right.
the main attraction. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. This last topic for overrated, underrated, very important. This one's worth all the marbles. Overrated or underrated? John Hack.
We can hear you thinking from
Yeah.
here.
And it's tough.
I know.
'cause he might hear your answer. So
He's gonna hear this.
we'll make sure to post this clip specifically on Instagram.
I think he's God. If I were to answer this honestly, I think he's like fairly rated. But for the purpose of this, I'm gonna say he's underrated.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he's still not at his limit. I don't think he's like gonna slow down much in the next year or two. I think he's still going up, trending upwards. And I just think that people don't realize like what he's doing, how amazing it is.
Yeah.
Because like if you're not a powerlifter, like people at the top of the sport understand it, but the rest of the 99%, even like the people who just don't even powerlift, they just follow lifting. I don't think they understand like how crazy what he's doing is, and even like his whole journey, like going from like natural winning IPF worlds, and you're just doing it like I quote unquote the right way. The way I would like if I had a son, I would probably tell him to do it this way. Is to just you have to win things. You have to like before taking the next step. Like don't take steroids before even winning your local contest.
Right. Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he won IPF Worlds. He could have just stayed there and just dominated for like 4, 5, 6, however many years you want to do it. But like, where's the fun in that when you're not even like challenging yourself and beating other like top lifters? And so he wanted to go head to head with the best in the world. So he went untested. So and then now what he's doing, like he's still making good progress, and just the way he goes about things, and and he's not cocky and all that stuff. I think I think he's underrated.
Yeah.
But I obviously am more biased. But really, I think he gets the recognition he deserves. But I still think he's still going to be upping the bar even more in the next year or two.
He hasn't reached his final form yet.
No, yeah, I think he's like Super Saiyan 3. He doesn't even know what Super Saiyan God is yet.
Yeah. And a year of training, who knows what that amount of time actually is.
Right. Well, yeah. Good news, Andy. I think you passed overrated, underrated. You did well.
Yes.
And that kind of brings us towards the end. I mean, people need to follow you on Instagram. Obviously, check out Iron Rebel. Anything else that you want to get out there? Listen to Two Bros, One Shaker Cup.
Yeah. Listen to our podcast. Me and John, Two Bros, One Shaker Cup. Now that COVID's over, John and I will be resuming. We're not resuming. We're going to start doing seminars. Our first seminar actually is going to be really a huge one. We're doing one with Ed Cohn. So
never heard of her.
Yeah. So it's going to be two goats and a panda. I think that's what I'll call.
That's good.
That's what I'm going to call the seminar.
I like that.
But yeah, it's going to be in September. So if anybody's in the SoCal area, or if you're, ambitious enough to fly or come out of state, it'll be in September. It'll be the three of us and just doing, a seminar. And so, we'll plan on doing more as the country opens up, and we'll be traveling and hopefully coming to a town near you. But other than that, follow me on social media or Instagram, _huge_Asian_guy, Iron Rebel. And I have a list of all these other supplement or sponsors, but we don't need to talk about that. It's fine. You just find it on my Instagram.
Okay, cool.
It's a long list.
Got to pay the bills.
Yeah. That's for like, that buys my Jordans, guys.
Yeah, right.
That's what we have sponsors for.
They ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Andy. We appreciate it. That was good stuff.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad we were able to link up because I'm usually super busy during the week, but today's my only day off during the week, so glad we were able to work it out.
You got to get a few hours of podcast again.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
All right, are you guys going to be at the showdown or anything?
Yeah. Yes, we are. I think we're going to have a booth at the show. Like that's
the plan.
Yes, that's
okay.
So what's that? September or
Yeah, the 24th.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a booth there actually. So we'll probably see you there.
Awesome, cool. Look forward to it.
Cool. All right. See you, man.
All right, guys.
See ya.
All right. Night.
What does he get, Tommy?
Cool beans.
He earned those beans.
Yeah, Andy got the double cool beans.
He worked for those beans.
Well deserved.
They were.
We put him through the ringer on overrated, underrated.
We
There
did.
was
He
a
was
couple that
thinking
he
hard
really
there.
had. He had to.
You
make
give him Jordan 1s. He thinks, oh, this is easy. I got this in the bag.
Yeah. Then we bust out.
Say
the
we're
Dragon
gonna
Ball
dial
Z.
up the hardness level here.
Then we bring in the USPA, and he's got some personal connections there. So he's got to be careful what he says.
Oh, you got a personal connection there. You're gonna have a really personal connection on this
See what
next
we got
one.
to say about John Hack. We dare you to say he's overrated.
We had a fifth question. We might add his girlfriend in there even. Really make it personal.
That would have been good. Yeah.
Girlfriend, she's a tad overrated.
We didn't want to be the ones to tell you, but no, that was cool.
That was.
Other stuff we had going on. One thing I wanted to mention was on our site we've got stuff for sale. You can go buy it.
That is an astute observation, Tanner.
More specifically, what I was going to mention is tank tops are all still there as of now. You can get mostly any of them.
Actually,
in
we
mostly
didn't talk about how the drop went at all, did we?
Did we talk
Was
about
that last weekend?
I don't know. This is like Dragon Ball Z. I don't understand time anymore.
It was last Thursday, I believe, wasn't it? I mean, I made an Instagram post today saying
it was a
last
week ago.
week.
It was just a week ago?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's been 7 days as of today.
Huh.
Yeah,
I
wow.
guess you're right.
Yeah, it was the end of
Okay.
May, Tanner. It was like we planned all along, the end of May.
Right. Okay. All right. It's like we had in our calendar.
Yeah.
So it did go great, right? I mean,
It went really good.
We've shipped out a ton of tank tops. So a lot of people would be getting those by now.
Yep. So you'll see a lot more bare arms around this time.
Yeah.
By the
Not
time you're
like
listening
the
to this.
furry ones
Not
from the
like
forest.
bare arms,
Yeah.
but like exposed
Uncovered
arms.
Yeah.
Kind of fit, kind of fat. Was a hot
Very
seller.
That one is
Only a
limited
few.
one too,
I mean,
so
only a few quantities left, and we're probably out of a few sizes now.
we're out of a few sizes. Some of the other ones we could even be out of some of the sizes. I think you got a good chance at most of the sizes yet, but not for
but that's
long.
more of a compliment to us and how good we are at ordering the correct sizes than anything.
I'll tell you what, that is
we have a formula
that's
that we do have a formula that is
it's
like
an ever an adjusting thing, and
but the formula is almost perfect.
you know what the one flaw to the formula is in the system? The system's reactive.
Mm-hmm.
It uses historical data, and past performance is never a guarantee of future success. Like, and that is true in investing and also true in ordering sizes of t-shirts.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it kind of does work. So
Well, there's usually one size that goes way too early, and then the rest are good until
sometimes it's just completely. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Why that size in this item?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, and when we're saying that, we're talking about the smaller sizes or the biggest sizes.
Yeah, and I swear people know. Like somehow people know when there's a run going on one size, and everyone's like, I have to buy a 2XL now. Everyone else is, and they just
There's
know.
been a few weird times where like 3XLs, I swear we sell the first 10 orders were all 3XLs, and they just wipe out the 3XLs.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen?
yeah.
Like that never happens.
No,
but
that's true. Well, the other thing about the site I was going to say is we do have a few sale items. If you go to our shop and go to the sale tab, we've got a few items on sale. There's a few shirts there that are several dollars off, no discount, like a lot of stuff that's like 25% off. There's a few sweatshirts on there and stuff, but anything that's in that sale tab, and I think there's probably, the blue ribbon powerlifting shirt is in there. There's a Lift Fast tee in there, 8-Bit Highland Games tee in there. A few other good tees that we've got in there. And like I said, a few sweatshirts, really limited quantity on those, but a few in there. That stuff is probably, it's for sure not coming back soon.
it's going into the vault when it disappears.
It's for sure not coming back soon. Questionable if some of it even comes back. So if you want any of those things, buy those now because it's really your chance.
Or you'll
now.
be in a situation like the numero uno tee where people have been
Right.
begging for it for years.
And it's like, we
haven't
don't
brought it
know.
back yet.
We don't know what we're doing with that. We got a lot of new
We
stuff
lost
to come
the key
out.
to that vault. It's
Right.
gone
So
right
we don't
now.
know. So get that stuff. Now really is your chance. And not only is it kind of your last chance, it's also on sale. So it's just a hell of a good deal.
It practically costs you money to not buy it.
We're crazy for some of the prices that we put on those things. They should legitimately lock us up and throw away the key because we are insane.
I wasn't going to say it, Tanner, but you are right.
The prices, I mean, we are legitimately crazy people for pricing some of those quality t-shirts at those
These guys
prices.
run a business? What?
They can't. They're crazy. So that's our site. Hop on there and buy some stuff. Sign up to become a supporting member of the show. That would be super cool. Would love to.
Massenomics.com/join.
Yeah, we always love adding more team members to the family.
Yep. When you're here, your family.
Yes, that's always been our motto.
And also, while we're at it, tell someone else about the podcast. There's been a lot of that going on lately. There's numbers to prove it. And so whoever's doing that, keep doing it.
Yes.
We
But yeah,
appreciate
please.
it.
Yeah, it's cool seeing the numbers grow. Leave us a 5-star review. I didn't prepare some to read, so we're going to have to hold on.
But the road to 400 is getting dangerously close.
We're over 350, Tommy.
So does that mean we are on the road to the road?
I think before we've said, I think we're on the road to the road, but I think the road, in the past we've said you got to get over like the 60, 70 line.
Okay,
You
so
know,
we're getting like pretty damn close to the on-ramp.
We're
right now.
on the road to the road, though.
Yes.
We are on the road to 400.
And that should be obvious to everyone.
Yeah. At this point in time, you should start to get how this works. And yes, be like, yes, they're on the road to the road. I just checked there at 351.
One other thing, if you want to ever check where we're at, you can go to massenomicsreviews.com. Fun name generator on there.
Yeah,
If you-
a Massenomics
if you're
name
curious what
generator.
your Massenomics name would be, you can
Yes.
enter your name and it will spit out your Massenomics nickname. So
Yes.
if you're looking for, if you want to reintroduce yourself to the guys at the gym and say, hey, I've reinvented myself. Here's my new nickname. Go on there. You can come up with one.
Yeah, all we need is your name, birth date, social security number.
Credit card, CVC code, expiration date.
No, really, it is crazy how good this thing works. So all you have to put in is your name, and it actually kicks out your Massenomics name
Every time.
It's insane how
doesn't fail.
accurate it is too, and like just how it always knows. It knows. It's like this. Is that how Skynet? Is this how Skynet starts with the Massenomics name
I
generator?
think so. I'm pretty sure.
Is that
this
Skynet?
This is where it's machine learning. And then
Yeah.
the machines go too far.
It's like we ourselves.
I think it was
Don't
a
even
deleted
know.
scene in Terminator. I think so. Like this just didn't make the cut. They thought it didn't make for good,
Right.
for good cinema.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
we know how it went.
Because I mean, we don't even know how to run the Massenomics name generator.
We didn't
That's
put
not
it
a
there.
lot. Yeah,
Actually, come to think of
this
it,
is all.
it appeared there on its own.
Aren't these dots connecting each other?
And we don't
Like,
even have really an intern with a say in that. That just appeared on its own. So
this
the
all
machines do have, I think, intelligence, self-awareness.
Where am I?
In the future,
Okay. Would you like to hear one more ad? For
I
today's show?
would love to.
Today's show was brought to you by Texas Power Bars.
Oh, hold on, everyone listening.
Yes.
We have
Who's reading the Texas Power Bars? The full Texas Power Bars
Sit
ad?
down for story time. We have a new actor this week portraying.
Can't promise I'm going to do this as well as Tommy has in the past, but you know what? I'm going to try.
Yep,
I'm going to give it my damnedest try. It's what Buddy would want.
it is what he would want
Yes.
to go with his timeline.
Yes. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At that time, he was working for Image Barbell, building gym equipment.
You're just so happy reading it right now? Like you never thought your time would actually come.
I've listened to it so many times and I've never actually said it. So,
It's funny.
yeah.
You have actually never read this part.
because mine is the abbreviated version. All right, I'm going to start the timeline over. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At that time, he was working for Image Barbell, building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1997, Image Bar became champion barbell.
Whoa. Did you say 97?
Oh, shoot. Damn it, buddy. I'm sorry. In 1977, Image Barbell became champion barbell. It was just 1 year prior after the 1976. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was birthed. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Asian powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their own legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com.
Now, Tanner, as me being the expert in this field,
yeah,
I do
sorry.
have to say,
Yeah.
overall, your delivery was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Your inflection, all of that was
Yeah.
good. Your pacing, but you did commit the cardinal
I
sin
messed up the timeline.
of messing up the years, which
It's kind
is
of like the biggest part of
which
the whole
is
thing.
almost the most disrespectful thing you could ever do.
It is. You're not wrong. Messing up the years of the timeline completely fucks up the
You
whole
might
thing.
as well have just said a different company's name at
It's
the
like-
end.
Ignore
what I
you
s-
went from 1976 to 1997. What was he doing for those last 20 years?
He went into hiding for 19 years
Yeah.
and developed the perfect
It's
bar.
like then Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. That doesn't make any sense.
It was the late 90s. Hanson and the Spice Girls were on the radio. But he came out of hiding with his bar.
He's like, this is the time.
The internet will be coming soon. I must come.
Quick, someone find me a lathe. I have known issues to get to.
Been thinking about this for
This
19
passion
years.
and drive and purpose isn't going to find its mission on its own. Texas Power Bars. They do have good bars.
So, with all that being said, we do recommend
Good
a Texas Power
barbells.
Bar.
Texas deadlift bars, Texas squat bars.
We use
got
them
a few
all.
other
We
in
got
our
them all. We
arsenal.
use them all.
Yeah, we do.
They get used and abused.
So thank you to all of our sponsors. Of course, Texas Power Bars, SPUD Inc., Fusion Sports Performance Supplements, and
Strength Co.
The Strength Co., of course. Sorry.
I didn't realize you were throwing me an alley-oop there, Tanner.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the slam dunk. For one last chance for you to talk about their machined and e-coated plates.
Now available up to 100 pounds.
And
or coming
down
soon.
to 1.25. Mm-hmm. Like you said, sans the 35. That's our show, Tommy. Anything else?
I think that's everything.
That's a good show. Where do they find you?
You know, my favorite part is when we can review our own performance at the end.
Pretty good
We
show.
did pretty
What do you
damn
give it?
good
Yeah,
today.
good show. Yeah, damn good
You know
show.
what?
Hell of a good show.
I don't even know if we need to release this. We know it's that good. We don't need
good
to let
show.
anyone else hear
Yeah,
this.
good show.
Yeah,
Good show.
We
Real
did
good
it.
Show.
Did it again.
Where do they find you at?
You can
Tom?
find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.